Hello, peoples. My name's Jim, and I'm talking about the afterlife, ghosts. Ghosts. It's not a great word for them, really, but it's a word we all understand. Invisible people. So, welcome. Let's get into this real quick. Today, I want to talk about location and management with these invisible people. I don't know. My sister and I, Colleen and I, we work together on this, and we share a little bit of a disagreement with location. There, Colleen would like to think they're a little more omnipresent than, and I want to argue, and that's what this video is all about. I want her to see it. I want to argue that no, they are actually here in this house. I'm in Panama. I live here for 6 months out of the year, and then I spend 6 months in Pennsylvania. I've been doing this for 18 years, shuttling back and forth. This house in Panama is full of English speaking, Pennsylvania sounding people. There's only one way that could happen. This is a Spanish speaking country. There's only one way that happens is that they come here with me, and they do. We're going to get into that today. So, not to keep you long here, the theory, group theory for us, for Colleen and I, is that yes, we are surrounded by invisible people. And in general, they are family members. And it goes back eons. I mean, our great grandfather on our father's side, Peter Finnegan, he is still around just doing his thing. Apparently, we're all friends. You know, I don't remember the man because I'm human, but when I get back to the afterlife, of course, we all sit at the same table. Yes, so there's all these ancient people that we've been surrounded with for forever. Colleen and I have been coming back as brother and sister. They tell us we've been coming back as brother and sister for thousands of years. I mean, this has been going on forever. We can't find the beginning. I have been searching for the beginning for, if you go back through some of these other videos on YouTube, I have been looking for the beginning of this for years, and I still can't find it. I am currently reading every history book I can find, looking for the beginning of consciousness. When did we become conscious of ourselves? Cro-Magnon? Do we go back further? I don't know. I want to figure it out. I figure I got 20 years left in me, so hang in there. I'll find something for us. But let's talk about this. So group theory is that we are surrounded by our family. Colleen and I come from the same group, the Finnegan group. So we kind of share people. Lower level people are physically stuck in this house with me. We'll get into that. They don't like it. Lower level people, they don't have freedom of movement. Higher level people, yeah, they can just zip back and forth between here and Pennsylvania. But it gets weirder than that. So a bunch of years ago, I don't know, I was talking about one of my sons. I got two boys. One of them was up to something I don't remember. It was 7 years ago, and I asked the invisible people in this house. I suggested they travel to Pennsylvania to keep an eye on them, and I got my notes. And two guys replied to that. I suggested that you travel to Pennsylvania, you invisible people go to Pennsylvania to keep an eye on my son. And two men responded from the top of the steps on the second floor of the living quarters of this house. It all works from here, the one guy says. And the guy next to him says, watch from here. All right, well, now that just told us that's a whole breakfast full of craziness. These people don't have to zip back and forth between Panama and Pennsylvania. They can stand at that window, at the northern window at the top of the steps, and look straight to Pennsylvania. That's what they're implying. that they can see everything that's going on. And so, to get ready for this video, I went back through the archives, and I have years and years of archives, and I found some more suggestions to this. They know what's up in Pennsylvania. New Year's Eve, a bunch of years ago, my father had passed the year before, the summer before, and it's New Year's Day. And my mother, I'm here in Panama, so it doesn't matter to me, but my mother is making a prime rib for all her kids and extended family that live in Pennsylvania. So she's on the phone with one of our sisters, and the pan with the prime rib on it just somehow levitates off of the kitchen counter and slams onto the floor. The sister that she was talking to, that mom was talking to, heard it on her side of the phone. I mean, it was crazy. So I asked about it down here in Panama. I asked what happened. And they rat out our deceased father. In my kitchen here, a man says, he needed to. In other words, he needed to throw the roast. He hated when my mother was on the phone. He threw the roast to end that conversation. He just didn't like it. And another guy says in his house about my father, because I'm blaming him right away. He is ridiculous. So here they are, two fellas in this little house, 3,000 miles south. They both know what happened the day before in my mother's house in Pennsylvania. So they're here, but they know what's up. Colleen and I, our grandfather, Bubba Finnegan, we used to call him Bubba. I don't know. I came up with that name. I'm the oldest. I don't know. Sorry, Bubba. But he's known as Bubba. And even in the afterlife, they refer to him as Bubba. So, I don't know. I'm talking about Bubba at one point here over the years. And a man in the spare room right here in this house, his fine clothes are here. Bubba's fine clothes are here. So he stores his clothes here. Now he's a higher level guy. He runs these studies that we do with the recorders and we talk. Yeah, he runs it. So he's back and forth between here and Colleen's house in Pennsylvania all the time. But he chooses to keep his fine clothes here in Panama. Your guess is as good as mine. Whenever I'm getting ready to leave, I leave every spring. Here it is, the end of March. I'm going to leave in about a month, the end of April, to go back to Pennsylvania and hang out with my kids and my grandkids for 6 months. And then when it gets cold, I buy an airplane ticket and come back down. But I always, for years have asked, when I'm heading back to Pennsylvania, who's going to stay and keep an eye on the house for me? Because generally I would leave it empty. Now I'm starting an Airbnb down here, so yeah, I'll have to ask about that when I come back to see how that goes. But yeah, I'm going to Airbnb the house, and but I'm sure some of my family's going to stay and keep an eye on the place. But over the years, I've gotten some curious comments about that. Who's staying? A woman in the living room replies, "Time to go home." For her, it's time to go home to Pennsylvania. She can't do it by herself. She's waiting for me, the human. So when me, the human, decides to move, she moves with me. Just like I was talking about that trip to Costa Rica last month. When I went to Costa Rica, family members went with me. Invisible family went with me. Same thing. I'm heading back to Pennsylvania for 6 months. She's heading home. This is not home for her. It's home's up there. Lower level people. Higher level people don't have that issue. They can come back and forth as they please. But often people do agree to stay in the house. they stay, but you know, they can come and go as they please. It doesn't much matter, but it's like a vacation from the nitwits up in Pennsylvania, maybe. I don't know. But and to kind of prove the fact that they are in fact in this house and not omnipresent in the world, is I record two guys downstairs some time ago on a recorder. I always put a recorder downstairs. A man says, "We don't like it here." And a guy next to him chimes up and says, "There are scorpions down here sometimes." That's a fact. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Panama. It's the tropics. And scorpions, yeah, they're a thing. I manage the scorpions on the second floor a lot. Often I spray, I take care of it. But downstairs at the entranceway, not so much. If the scorpions want to hang out around my boots down there, that's fine. I don't give a shit. So yeah, he is here in this house. Colleen, I'm telling you, Colleen, they're in the house. They're here. They are aware of the scorpions. How else can it go? Thank you very much for listening. I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. I've got stories and ghost stories for you forever. Subscribe, follow, like, share, all the above. I appreciate the help. Thanks.